All right, welcome back to Mama D Reacts. This is Mama D. I have been going through some very frustrating technical issues, and I am praying that this works. So, last week we watched where there's 4 reactors at Chernobyl, and one of them, there was an explosion, and it blew the core to pieces. So, I'm learning so much from watching this show. Graphite is what's around the material, and they found the graphite scattered all over, and it's super hot. These firefighters are coming there. They don't even know what they're doing. They have no protection. They're touching this graphite and burning their skin is basically peeling off. Within a matter of hours, they're vomiting and they've got radiation poisoning. Last week you saw the Soviet, or I should say the Soviet Union, the government officials trying to keep this under wraps. They didn't want anybody to know about this. So we'll see if that changes now that some time has passed. But these poor people had no idea what they're walking into. These poor firemen are all going to die, I'm sure. But let's get on with it, and we'll see what happens in episode 2, which is titled Please Stay Calm. So this is 8:30 in the morning, 7 hours after the explosion is when this starts.
Я все-таки горд был за самую милую, за горькую землю, где я родился.
You work too hard.
Where is everyone?
Oh, they refused to come in.
Why?
It's Saturday.
Yeah, most people want
you come in?
Saturday off.
I work too hard. It's boiling in here.
Uh-oh.
8 millirontgen. Leak?
No. It would have gone off before. It's coming from outside.
The Americans?
Iodine 131. It's not military, it's uranium decay. U-235.
Oh,
Reactor
my.
field. Ignalina, maybe 240 kilometers away.
Yes, this is Ulana Homyuk with the Institute of Nuclear and... looking for... All right, stay calm. They're at 4. It's not them. Who's the next closest?
It's Chernobyl, but that's not possible. They're 400 kilometers away.
Well, that's too far for 8 millirontgen. They'd have to be split open. Maybe they know something.
That's exactly what they are.
Iodine.
Could it be a waste dump?
We'd be seeing other isotopes.
Nuclear test? New kind of bomb?
We'd have heard that's what half our people work on here.
Something with a space program, like a satellite or...
No one's answering the phone.
Nobody's there, and they shut the phones off last week, remember?
started on an IV.
We don't have enough.
Of all the children, then.
We don't have enough.
As many as you can. Where's the old man?
He set up a burn ward in 16.
What are you doing? What is that?
Milk. It's milk. Much better than water.
No, stop, stop!
What are you doing?
These are radiation burns. Their clothes are contaminated. Help me! Get it all off. We're taking it down to the basement. You with the firefighter from Chernobyl. Can you stop pushing, please?
His face is burned. That was her husband, wasn't it, from last week? Her hands are burnt. Oh my God. Well, you all just killed yourselves.
Professor Legasov. Oh, no, not yet. They're finishing up some other business. It'll be a few more minutes. Can I get you some tea?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Would you care to read Deputy Chairman Shabina's report while you wait?
Certainly, thank you.
Those were the days when you could smoke anywhere.
All right, Professor, they're ready. Professor Legasov?
Thank you all for your duty to this commission. We will begin with Deputy Chairman Sherbina's briefing, and then we will discuss next steps, if necessary.
Thank you, Comrade General Secretary. I'm pleased to report that the situation in Chernobyl is stable. Military and civilian patrols have secured the region, and Colonel General Pikalov, who commands troops specializing in chemical hazards, has been dispatched to the plant. In terms of radiation, Plant Director Brikhanov reports no more than 3.6 Rontgen. I'm told it's the equivalent of a chest x-ray, so if you're overdue for a checkup...
And foreign press?
Totally unaware. KGB First Deputy Chairman Sharkov assures me that we have successfully protected our security interests.
Good. Very good. Well, it seems like it's well in hand, so... If there is nothing else, meeting adjourned.
No.
Pardon me?
We can't adjourn.
This is Professor Legasov of the Kurchatov Institute. Professor, if you have any concerns, feel free to address them with me later.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Page 3, the section on casualties. A fireman was severely burned on his hand by a chunk of smooth black mineral on the ground outside the reactor building. Smooth black mineral. Graphite. There's graphite on the ground.
There was a tank explosion. There's debris. Of what importance that could
There's
be...
only one place in the entire facility where you will find graphite. Inside the core. If there's graphite on the ground outside, it means it wasn't a control system tank that exploded. It was the reactor core. It's open.
Comrade Sherbina.
Comrade General Secretary, I can assure you that Professor Legasov is mistaken. Brikhanov reports that the reactor core is intact And as for the radiation...
Yes, 3.6 Rontgen, which, by the way, is not the equivalent of one chest X-ray, but rather 400 chest X-rays. That number's been bothering me for a different reason, though. It's also the maximum reading on low-limit dosimeters. They gave us the number they had. I think the true number is much, much higher. If I'm right, this fireman was holding the equivalent of 4 million chest X-rays in his hand.
Professor Legasov, there's no place for alarmist hysteria.
It's not alarmist if it's a fact.
Well, I don't hear any facts at all. All I hear is a man I don't know, engaging in conjecture, in direct contradiction to what has been reported by party officials.
I apologize. I didn't mean, please may I express my concern as calmly and as respectfully as I...
Professor Legasov.
Boris, I will allow it.
An RBMK reactor uses uranium-235 as fuel. Every atom of U-235 is like a bullet, traveling at nearly the speed of light, penetrating everything in its path: woods, metal, concrete, flesh. Every gram of U-235 holds over 1 billion trillion of these bullets. That's in
Whoa.
1 gram. Now, Chernobyl holds over 3 million grams, and right now it is on fire.
Oh my.
Winds will carry radioactive particles across the entire continent. Rain will bring them down on us. That's 3 million, billion, trillion bullets in the air we breathe,
3
the
million
water we
billion.
drink, the food
Oh
we
my
eat. Most of these bullets will not stop firing for 100 years. Some of them not for 50,000 years.
What?
Yes, and this concern stems entirely from the description of a rock.
Yes.
Comrade Shabina, I want you to go to Chernobyl. You take a look at the reactor, you personally, and you report directly back to me.
Wise decision, Comrade General Secretary.
And take Professor Legasov with you.
Forgive me, Comrade General Secretary, but I don't...
Do you know how a nuclear reactor works?
No.
Duh.
No. Well, then how will you know what you're looking at? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you. Oh, that's going to piss him off because he overstepped his authority.
How does a nuclear reactor work?
What?
It's a simple question.
It's hardly a simple answer.
Of course. You presume I'm too stupid to understand. So I'll restate. Tell me how a nuclear reactor works, or I'll have one of these soldiers throw you out of the helicopter.
And he'd do it too, I bet.
The nuclear reactor makes electricity with steam. Steam turns a turbine which generates electricity, where a typical power plant makes steam by burning coal. A nuclear plant uses something called fission. You take an unstable element like uranium-235, which has too many neutrons. A neutron is
The bullet.
Yes, the bullet.
See, he knows what you're talking
So,
about.
bullets are flying off of uranium. Now, if we put enough uranium atoms close together, the bullets from one atom will eventually strike another atom. The force of this impact splits that atom apart, releasing a tremendous amount of energy. Fission.
The graphite.
Yes. The neutrons are actually traveling so fast, we call this flux. It's relatively unlikely that uranium atoms will ever hit one another. In RBMK reactors, we surround the fuel rods with graphite to moderate, slow down the neutron flux.
Good. I know how a nuclear reactor works. Now I don't need you.
We're approaching the power plant.
What have they done?
Hey, see inside.
I don't have to. Look, that's graphite on the roof. The whole building's been blown open. The core's exposed.
I can't see how you can tell that from here.
For God's sakes, look at that glow. That's radiation ionizing the air.
Well, if we can't see, we don't know. Get us directly over the building.
Boris,
Don't use
we
my
fly
name.
directly over.
I haven't done
reactor
your
will be
advice.
dead within a week. Dead.
Sir, get us over that building, or I'll have you shot.
If you fly directly over that core, I promise you by tomorrow morning you'll be begging for that bullet.
I don't blame you, dude. I'd have to go to jail. You're already gonna die from being that close to it as it is. Communist Party headquarters in Minsk.
Perhaps if you came back another day.
There isn't another day.
Just wonderful.
Deputy Secretary Garanin.
Ulana Khomyuk of the Belarusian Institute for Nuclear Energy.
What a pleasure. Let me introduce
I'm here
Ilya.
about Chernobyl.
Such a lovely time. Visit again soon.
I will, thank you.
I must tell you, this is why no one likes scientists. When we have a disease to cure, where are they? In a lab, noses in their books, and so grandma dies. But when there isn't a problem, they're everywhere, spreading fear.
I know about Chernobyl.
Oh?
I know that the core is either partially or completely exposed.
Whatever that means.
And that if you don't immediately issue iodine tablets and then evacuate the city, hundreds of thousands of people are going to get cancer, and God knows how many more will die.
Yes, very good. There has been an accident at Chernobyl, but I've been assured there is no problem.
I'm telling you that there is.
I prefer my opinion to yours.
I'm
Asshole.
a nuclear physicist. Before you were deputy secretary, you worked in a shoe factory.
Yes, I worked in a shoe factory. And now I'm in charge. To the workers of the world.
You pig. She's gonna have to figure that out herself. Wow.
Stable iodine will keep your thyroid from absorbing radioactive iodine. Take one a day for as long as they last. And go east. Get as far from Minsk as you can.
Chief Engineer Famin, Colonel General Pigalov and I are honoured at your arrival.
Deeply, deeply honoured.
Naturally, we regret the circumstances of your visit, but as you can see, we are making excellent progress in containing the damage. We have begun our own inquiry into the cause of the accident, and I have a list of individuals who we believe are accountable.
Look at that smoke just billowing their way.
Professor Legasov, I understand you've been saying dangerous things.
Very dangerous things. Apparently our reactor core exploded. Please, tell me how an RBMK reactor core explodes.
I'm not prepared to explain it at this time.
As I presumed, there's no answer.
It's disgraceful. Really. To spread disinformation at a time like this.
You guys are the ones that's disgraceful.
Why did I see graphite on the roof? Graphite is only found in the core where it's used as a neutron flux moderator. Correct?
Farmy, why did the Deputy Chairman see graphite on the roof?
Well, there can't be. Comrade Shavina, my apologies, but graphite, that's not possible. Perhaps you saw burnt concrete.
Now, there you made a mistake. Because I may not know much about nuclear reactors. I know a lot about concrete.
Oh, Comrade, I assure you that...
I understand. You think Legasov is wrong. How shall we prove it?
Our high-range dosimeter just arrived. We could cover one of our trucks with lead shielding. Mount the dosimeter on the front. Have one of your men get as close to the fire as you can. Give them every bit of protection you have, but understand that even with lead shielding, it may not be enough. Then I'll do it myself.
Wow. Oh, my guy's gonna go through the fence and get in there.
He's back.
It's not through Röntgen. It's 15,000.
Oh.
Comrade Sabina.
What does that number mean?
It means the core is open.
Thank you.
It means the fire we're watching with our own eyes is giving off nearly twice the radiation released by the bomb in Hiroshima. And that's every single hour. Hour
Oh
after
my
hour.
God.
20 hours since the explosion, so 40 bombs worth by now. 48 more tomorrow.
Oh my God,
It will
that
not
gives me
stop.
gut-
Not the
oh.
week, not the month. It will burn and spread its poison until the entire continent is dead.
Oh my God, that gives me chills.
Here's a score to Comrades Baranov and Famin to the local party headquarters. Thank you for your service.
Comrade.
Your excuse.
The Atlas was in charge.
Oh, taking him away.
It's with the
Good
Atlas.
job.
Tell me how to put it out.
We'll use helicopters. Drop water on it like a forest fire. You don't understand this.
Not a
isn't
fire.
a fire. All that radiation. At least evacuate Pripyat. It's 3 kilometers away.
That's my decision to make.
Don't make it.
I've been told not to.
Is it or is it not your decision?
I'm in charge here. This will go much easier if you talk to me about the things you do understand and not about the things you do not understand.
Where are you going?
Going to get you 5,000 tons of sand and boron.
Are you here because of the fire? Anything we should be worried about?
No.
He lied. Wow. No wonder he killed himself. He was probably racked with guilt. Wow. Morning, April 27, 30 hours after the explosion.
We're in position. Roger, drop. Clear to proceed. Copy. We'll go one by one in rotation.
Remind them about the perimeter.
They cannot fly directly over the fire. A minimum of a 10-meter perimeter.
10-meter perimeter. Lead one per pre-flight. Maintain minimum 10-meter perimeter. Copy that. 40 meters. 35. 30.
No. They're too close.
We can't get over the fire. How are they
The wind will have to carry it. Tell them they cannot go over the core.
Lead one is too close. I repeat, they are too close.
Copy. Lead one, you are inside the perimeter. Did not copy this. Did not breaking up. Copy.
The radiation's messing with their instruments.
Lead one, come in.
Oh my god.
Lead one.
It's on fire. I'll be damned. Wow.
Sir, what do I tell the others?
Is there any other way, Nagazo?
Moscow.
Kurchatov Institute Laboratory 4.
Marina Guzanskaya. It's Alana Homiuk from Minsk.
Oh, yes. How nice of you to phone. It's been too long.
It has.
I was actually calling about our friend. You know, the one in the country.
Oh, yes, of course. I wanted to see how he's doing. It's so hot there right now.
Yes, it's extremely hot. But his nephews are flying down.
And they always bring cool weather.
Oh, which nephews? Simka, who's 14, and little Boris, who's 5.
Well, that's wonderful.
Though children can make you even hotter when they're crawling all over you.
Maybe I should visit.
No, they don't want visitors.
I'm sorry, I have to get back to work. It's very busy right now. Goodbye.
They're dropping sand and boron on the fire.
That's what I would do.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Where are you going?
Chernobyl.
There are 50,000 people in this city.
Professor Ilyin, who's also on the commission, says the radiation isn't high enough to evacuate.
Ilyin isn't a physicist.
Well, he's a medical doctor. If he says it's safe, it's safe.
Not if they stay here.
We're staying here.
Yes, we are.
We'll be
And
dead
we'll
in 5
dead
years.
in 5 years.
Wow. I just was making that up. Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
fire hoses are still connected. They've been gushing water into the structure this whole time.
Tanks are full.
I have 10 minutes. Then I'm back on the phone, apologizing to our friends, apologizing to our enemies. Our power comes from the perception of our power. Do you understand the damage this has done? Do you understand what's at stake? Boris?
Professor Legasov will deliver our briefing.
There is some good news. The airdrops are working to douse the fire. There's been a reduction in radionuclide emissions, but the fire will not be extinguished for at least another 2 weeks. There is also an additional problem. Nuclear fuel doesn't turn cold simply because it is not on fire. In fact, the temperature will likely rise as a result of the blanket of sand we dropped. The uranium will melt the sand, creating a kind of lava which will begin to melt down through the shield below.
You've made lava.
I anticipated this. I believe there was time to reinforce this lower concrete pad before the lava reached the earth and contaminated the groundwater, but as it turned out, I was worried about the wrong thing. It was my understanding that these large water tanks under the reactor were essentially empty. This is Ulana Khomyuk of the Belarusian Institute. Thanks to her insight, we are now aware that the tanks are, in fact, full.
Of water. Yeah. Why is that a problem, Professor?
When the lava enters these tanks, it will instantly superheat and vaporize approximately 7,000 cubic meters of water, causing a significant thermal explosion.
How significant?
We estimate between 2 and 4 megatons.
Oh,
Everything within a 30-kilometer radius will be completely destroyed, including the 3 remaining reactors at Chernobyl. The entirety of the radioactive material in all of the cores will be ejected at force and dispersed by a massive shockwave, which will extend approximately 200 kilometers and likely be fatal to the entire population of Kiev, as well as a portion of Minsk. The release of radiation will be severe and will impact all of Soviet Ukraine, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarusia, as well as Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, and most of East Germany.
Oh my God.
What do you mean, impact?
For much of the area, a nearly permanent disruption of the food and water supply. A steep increase in the rates of cancer and birth defects. I don't know how many deaths there will be, but many. For Belarusia and the Ukraine, impact means completely uninhabitable for a minimum of 100 years.
What?
There are
Oh my God.
more than 50 million people living in Belarusia and Ukraine.
60, yes.
Oh my God.
And how long before this happens?
Approximately 48 to 72 hours.
No. No way.
But we may have a solution. We can pump the water from the tanks. Unfortunately, the tanks are sealed shut by a sluice gate, and the gate can only be opened manually from within the duct system itself. So we need to find 3 plant workers who know the facility well enough to enter the basement here, find their way through all these ductways, get to the sluice gate valve here, and give us the access we need to pump out the tanks. Of course, we will need your permission.
My permission for what?
The water in these ducts, the level of radioactive contamination.
They'll likely be dead in a week.
Oh my God.
We're asking for your permission to kill 3 men.
Oh my God. Oh. Wow.
Comrade Legasov, All victories inevitably come at a cost.
Three people as opposed to millions and millions, I guess, is not bad unless you're those three people. They're going to have to get three people to volunteer. 9:30 a.m. on the 28th, 56 hours after the explosion. So everybody's out of the immediate town there, evidently.
Here. The valve will be difficult to operate, so we'll need 3 men. We'll need to know the basement layout. And of course, any volunteers will be rewarded. A yearly stipend of 400 rubles.
What's a yearly stipend going to do? You're going to be dead. Is your family getting that?
For those of you working in reactors 1 and 2, promotions.
Why are reactors 1 and 2 still operating at all?
Right.
My friend was a security guard that night, and she's now dying. And we've all heard about the firemen. And now you want us to swim underneath a burning reactor. Do you even know how contaminated it is?
I don't have an exact number.
You don't need an exact number to know if it will kill us.
Exactly.
But you can't even tell us that. Why should we do this? For what, 400 rubles?
You'll do it because it must be done. You'll do it because nobody else can. And if you don't, millions will die. And if you tell me that's not enough, I won't believe you.
Exactly.
This is what has always set our people apart. 1,000 years of sacrifice in our veins. And every generation must know its own suffering. I spit on the people who did this. And I caused the price I have to pay. I'm making my peace with it. Now you make yours. Go into that water. Because it must be done.
Ananenko.
Bespalov.
Baranov.
Wow. Those are heroes, man. Wow. And they're gonna die a horrible death. I don't know if I could do that. I guess I could if I had to. Wow. $400 rubles is $6.19 in the United States money. At least it was. It is now. I don't know what it was back then. $6 extra? Are you kidding me? Maybe back, in '86, $6 was a lot of money to them. I don't know. And if I'm wrong, let me know, but I Googled it. You hear that Geiger counter with that radiation clicking. They're not even far in yet. You have to go underneath the reactor. Oh my God, that's horrifying. Listen to that. It's just, oh. Oh my God. Yep. Flashlights aren't even working. Radiation. Wow. Oh my God, that is horrific. I'm going to put a link below. I kind of researched a little bit on these guys and found out, read a good article on them. So I'm gonna put that and also the link to the second podcast down there for you guys. This is just beyond sad. It is so sad. And then I'm, like I said before, I live like 60 miles from the Callaway County Nuclear Plant. This could happen to us. There's no guarantee that that's not going to happen. So, this is making me nervous. But I guess we'll see what happens next week. And I love your comments. Keep them coming, especially you people who've lived over there and went through this and know people. It's really humanizing to hear these stories. The little baby whose eyes dried up in the mother's womb and they were born blind. I just can't imagine. But keep the comments coming. I'm learning a lot about this, and I appreciate you all helping me learn more about it. Okay? And we will see you next week.